There's a version of you that opens a chart and knows exactly what to do in under 10 seconds. You can see the chart with full clarity and don't feel any emotion. But right now, you feel pressure instead, a lack of clarity that makes it virtually impossible to trade well. Now in this video, I'll show you exactly how to close that gap, and by the end of it, you'll become the trader that can read a chart the way a market maker does. So when you open a chart within about 2 seconds, before you've even consciously thought about it, your brain does something. It starts to look for a story. It'll scan all the candles, and it'll look at the most recent moves. And then almost immediately, it starts building a narrative. So for example, if you see a large drop and then a recovery, you might start thinking that we're about to reverse, and then subconsciously look for potential future moves. And once that story exists, everything that happens is filtered through that lens. If the market moves in your direction, then it confirms what you already thought, and you feel smart. If it moves against you, then the market is being irrational. And you get caught in this loop where sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But you feel like you never actually get it. You never get that full clarity which allows you to grow consistently. And when you combine that with constant pressure and anxiety, well, then you get yourself in really unstable situations, and the idea of consistent trading and growth gets out of reach. Now, learning to read the chart like a market maker isn't about adding some type of special indicator or following a few tips and tricks. The problem is you're still looking at it from the perspective of a retail trader. It's not about understanding what's going on perfectly every second. And if you try looking at it that way, you'll lose because that's impossible. It's about knowing what you're supposed to do before you even open the chart. And you can't do that with the current setup because you're looking at it as a player of the game instead of looking at it as a game maker. And the key difference is that you're stuck in a state of predicting instead of in a state of reacting. Because predicting means that the chart controls you. You're letting the chart tell you exactly what to think and feel. Reacting means you let the chart come to you. You have your answer before you even open it. Now I'm going to show you exactly how to get there, step by step. So the first step is to understand market internals. Because the truth is, if you're just reading charts and trading without understanding what's actually going on, it's impossible to get anywhere. When you open your chart and start scanning and predicting, it's an attempt to control something you don't truly understand. That's why it doesn't land and makes trading feel extremely difficult. But knowing how the market actually works underneath the surface will make you see everything clearly from the start. Now, the entire purpose of the market, and the reason why it even exists, is because it's matching transactions between buyers and sellers. It exists so people can exchange shares and contracts easily. And for this to be easy, there needs to be liquidity. Liquidity just means, is there someone on the other side of my trade? If I want to buy, is there someone willing to sell it? If I want to sell, is there someone willing to buy it? Without liquidity, nothing works. You can't get in and you can't get out. The entire thing breaks down. In fact, a market maker's entire job is to make sure there's always liquidity in the market for smooth transactions. That's literally it. Their entire purpose is to make sure that when you enter an order to buy or to sell, that there is an order on the other side, ready to take it as quickly as possible. And that's how the market moves. If buy orders overwhelm sell orders, then the price moves up. If sell orders overwhelm buy orders, then the price moves down. And the more overwhelming the orders on one side, the larger and quicker the moves will be. That's why, for example, when we suddenly get a bullish announcement, the market can jump massively in just a few minutes and produce an enormous green candle. It's all the buy orders rushing in and overwhelming the sell orders. There isn't enough liquidity on the sell side, so the price shoots up to get all those orders filled. That's what's happening behind the candlesticks you see on your chart. Now here's where this is actually useful to us. Since the market is always seeking liquidity, market makers need to satisfy that by constantly moving the price to where the most buying and selling is sitting. The areas with the most buying and selling are the most liquid areas, and that's where transactions happen the most efficiently. Now, a market maker will make money by taking a tiny cut of every transaction that goes through them. They make a profit on the spread difference. So the more transactions, the more profit. That means they benefit the most by moving the price toward the areas where transactions happen the easiest and most frequently. That's how the market moves. It finds highly liquid areas until either buyers or sellers overwhelm the other side, and it gets pushed to the next highly liquid area. And that's the key difference between how a retail trader and a market maker views the market. A retail trader will open a chart and immediately try understanding it and predicting it. They'll draw a bunch of lines and levels and add tons of indicators like it means something. They're going to try to look for patterns and study the chart and try to map it all out. And while this sounds like it makes sense, it doesn't work. You're looking at the surface without understanding what actually drives the price underneath it. But a market maker does. They're not asking about what pattern is forming on the chart, or thinking about how the candles look, or how a future event is going to affect the price. They're just asking one question. Where's the liquidity? That's what will tell you where the market is flowing next. Because the market doesn't have to obey your pattern. It doesn't have to obey the news. And it doesn't have to obey your indicator. But it absolutely must obey liquidity, because that's what allows it to move. So that's how you have to reframe the market in your mind. It's not about predicting the next move. It's about knowing where the money is sitting and letting price come to it, reacting instead of predicting. That's how you need to see it. Now, once you have a grasp of how the market really works, you can see the market through the correct lens and read the market correctly. That's when we move on to our next step, which will take us from predicting like a retail trader to reacting like a market maker. That's going to be to only focus on the elements that matter, and there really only are a few. Which direction is the price moving? What's the nearest area of liquidity, and where is the price right now? These three questions will tell you everything you need to know. So let's start with the first one. We need to know what direction the price is moving in to know who's currently in control. Because if we're currently in an uptrend, for example, then we know that buyers have a stronger capability of overwhelming sellers and therefore pushing the price higher for the next move. And if we're currently in a downtrend, then we know that sellers have the upper hand and have the ability to put more pressure and overwhelm buyers. If we're not in a downtrend or an uptrend, then we're in a range, and that means neither side is in control, and there isn't a strong edge. So one factor is the trend. Knowing the trend will give us an automatic edge because by definition, one thing is more likely to happen than the other. The price is more likely to continue moving higher in an uptrend and lower in a downtrend. We can read the trend easily on our chart just by adding moving averages. I use the 2050 EMA cloud, which is just the 20 and 50 moving average, and I just use the slope of the cloud to tell me what the trend is in a second. If it's sloping up or down clearly, then it's clearly trending. If it's flat or uncertain, then it's not trending cleanly. Makes it quicker and simpler. The next factor is momentum, and momentum is just the actual strength behind the move. Because you might be in a trend, but momentum is too weak, or too strong as well, which is one people tend to overlook. In both of these cases, the price is prone to collapsing. And we can also read momentum using the cloud, based on the actual width of the cloud. If momentum is weak, then the cloud will be thin. There won't be much of a distance between the 20 and the 50 EMA. In this case, the price doesn't have a lot of momentum and might not have enough strength to continue the next trend leg. And if the cloud is extremely thick, the price has gone so far in so little time that it's stretched the cloud. It's gone parabolic, and parabolic moves are unstable and unpredictable. Not the type of environment you want to trade in. So with these two factors, trend and momentum, you can glance at a chart with the cloud and tell what direction it's trending in and how strong and sustainable that trend is. You don't need to do any type of deep analysis or overthink. You just need to know what direction the price is moving in. Then we can move on to the second question, which is the nearest area of liquidity. Now, when it comes to finding the nearest area of liquidity, finding them just using the chart alone is difficult. The chart doesn't tell you where this liquidity actually is, and inferring it from flat candlesticks is not the best idea. It will probably be inaccurate. What I use is a tool called the volume profile, and this will show all the volume traded at a certain price point. And this is where you get some serious insights. You can see the most liquid points that had the highest number of transactions, and that's where the price will be attracted in the future. Now we can mark these out with supply and demand zones. A supply or demand zone is an area on the chart where price made a significant and sharp move away from. And the reason they work isn't because of a pattern or a theory. It's because of the actual mechanics of the market. The liquidity that created that zone in the first place is still there. And here's what makes these zones so powerful. They don't just work once. Price can come back to the same zone weeks or even months later and still react, because the liquidity is still sitting there. Now, I won't go into too much detail on how to find them, but I made a free guide where I break the entire process down and how to trade it. I'll link that below. But now that you understand the two things you're looking for when you open a chart, direction and liquidity, the next question is, where is price right now relative to all of that? And that's what actually tells you whether there's something worth paying attention to on the chart or not. So let's put it all together. You've got your cloud telling you the trend and momentum. You've got your zones marked. Now you open the chart and you ask, where is price relative to those zones? And this is where it gets really simple. The first scenario is price is nowhere near a zone. It's just in the middle of a move, traveling between two areas. And in this case, there's nothing to do. You close the chart, you set a price alert for when it gets close to the nearest zone, and you move on. Most traders would sit there and stare at it, looking for something that isn't there. If the price isn't near a zone, there's no decision to be made yet. And the second scenario is when the price is at a zone. It's sitting right at an area where the market has made significant decisions before. The cloud is sloping clearly in one direction. Momentum is healthy. And now you watch for what happens next. And that's the difference between predicting and reacting. A retail trader is trying to figure out what's going to happen while it's happening. A market maker already figured it out before the chart even loaded. All they're doing now is confirming. So when you open a chart, that's your process. You're not going to open a chart and let it control you. You're not going to start thinking of different scenarios and worrying about what the price can do or what's going to happen next. You're going to open a chart and calmly wait for it to fit the exact criteria we just laid out. If it doesn't fit, then you do nothing. You don't even think about the market. If it does, then you engage. It's that simple. That's how you read and understand the chart like a market maker. Now let me show you what that looks like. So this is on the 5-minute chart on ES futures. Now, if you were to open this chart, the first thing you do isn't try to understand what's going on. You'd look at the trend and momentum. In this case, the cloud tells us that the trend is bullish. It's clearly sloping up, and the price is in an uptrend. We're making higher highs and lows, and the cloud itself is decently wide, so we have strong momentum as well. Now, step 2 is to find the nearest area of liquidity, and the areas of liquidity are our supply and demand levels. We just want to make sure the price is at one of these levels, and that's our whole read. You know the trend, you know where the liquidity is and where price is located, and from there, you can calmly engage with the market, because you let the market come to you. That's the version of you that opens a chart and knows exactly what to do. Now, if you want to know how to trade this in detail, be sure to check out my free guide below, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.